We are here looking for the next place to do the podcast. Everybody needs to watch us on the TV, but it's not the TV. It's going to be on YouTube. That's what you know. And everybody share it. Make us freaking grow.
Share it.
YouTube, Culture Junkies. YouTube,
Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, share YouTube, share that stuff. Share. Maybe. That's all right, though. That's all right. I'm gonna be the strangest and weirdest. I don't give a care because that's who I am. Care. Woodpecker laugh. Are we going?
Yeah, no, we're live. Yeah, no.
This is Why you?
Ryu.
I think y'all going this shit. Ryu. White Ranger, Green Ranger. Didn't they do a video of that? I think they did. I think they did a
Yeah,
live
I think they did.
No, this is actually that. They did a Ranger versus Scorpion, I think it was. Was it Scorpion? I thought they did.
They won recently, so they gave Ryu Morphin coin, and he had his own. He gave him a Morphin coin.
Oh, like in the comments?
It's a video.
Oh, wow.
It's back to Sunday. Yeah.
Okay.
So they was fighting against him, Bison, I believe.
Oh, okay. I checked that video out. That was a pretty video. Shout out to Bad
And they gave him his own
suit,
whatever. He had the headband on. It was pretty wicked.
You can go over there. Okay, well, that's already been done. So never mind. I like Power Rangers, but it's like modern comic books nowadays. Too convoluted. I don't know what's going on.
Only see Marcus and Sean.
When I was a child, minus that movie that y'all claim was the Power Rangers. I thought you talking about that new one that came out recently? No, the violent one where they was doing coke. Oh, I like that one.
I like that one.
I watched Power Rangers since Turbo. Turbo was the last one. I didn't know what that's from. That was after Neo, Zeo. Oh no.
Yeah, I think he went to Zeo.
I stopped at White Ranger. That's still in the 90s. Oh no, I think I stopped at White Ranger. Yeah, I think I was still in the 90s. I watched that was the second movie, was Turbo. They did that was the second one with Ivan Ooze. No, that was the first one.
You know what's weird though? The series redid the movie again.
What? With Ivan Ooze?
No, how they got the ninja coins. They redid the whole episode, like the movie. It was weird. Like I can't watch. I said, why the hell?
How was it?
They
put all the Power Rangers on Netflix, I remember.
Yeah, all of them on there.
Like, all of them. I was just like, I can't see him watch. Yeah, like, I tried to get Travis on. I had him watch like the first one. He was like, "What am I watching?" Because he looked so like literally the first episode. It's cheesy. Like, what am I looking at? Then punch him in the chest. I think I was in middle school when that first came out. I was like, see the commercial. I was like, they trying to rip off Voltron. What the heck is this crap?
That was actually my first thought too. That was my first thought.
Voltron actually. Oh, Voltron ripped off them.
I mean, yes, Super Sentai been around since the 70s. Right. So I didn't even know that.
They didn't actually bring out Max or Zord or whatever until like early 80s.
Really?
Because Voltron came out what, 84? 86.
Probably.
But yeah, so they had the Zords already going out beforehand. So even in the the old Super Sentai episodes, like that was super violent. Like it's like 30. I don't think that's gonna work in this spot. Like what happens if you put it right where that pillar is, where it's just like Power Ranger, like
wow.
Seasons or 30 years. I know.
You still the fried chicken?
Shut your ass.
That's fried chicken. I show you.
That was awkward as hell. Fried chicken. Right.
There is a gas station right there in the corner. I don't know the name of it. Remember the gas station on
oh, that was around here, right?
Inkster and Avenue.
Yeah, they got rid of it, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
And you know what's weird? It was weird that how the hell KFC gone and Captain J's up there now, and they still run out of chicken. You like Captain J's? I've never had it. I ate there up until one time. The one over here in Oak Park. Some man takes some chicken out of the. I don't know what the hell he's doing with his bare hand. It was already cooked. His bare hand took it out and put it in like in one of styrofoam. I was like, man, are you kidding me? I turned around, walked right out. I said, you know me touching your food. You know the worst person to order food with?
Right.
Maggie Child's the worst.
He's like, don't do that.
No,
I just want to know.
people like this. Let me get Winter Park. No, scratch that. Let me get.
I had KFC in probably 10 years.
To this day, I still hated you for that because you like, bro, just order something. Let's go.
So wait, so you saying he like Squidward was at the Krusty Krab?
Yeah.
And that fool just he's like
No, scratch it. Let me get the honey bar.
So you're basically saying oh man, you are not alone. What do you want? That guy. Let me get the fact that he hit the Fuji. What was that guy's name? Because he had to beat them up like in the restaurant. He didn't give a name, man. There was no name given. It was Kim Hill. Kim Barnes used to play that album. I know, I got you, but I'm just saying, like, you just came in. He was like, I would have never. Come on now, that whole interlude was life changing. I'm gonna have to play that because it was hilarious. Because they came in, it was like, Chain Wayne, can I eat? He's like, oh, I'll be right out. All right, okay then. What do you want? Oh gosh, like did they end up beating him up? No, he basically does, but it's like he starts out. He's like, let me get but don't cut that little retarded leg off. Take that off. And the other guy started to put his order in. He's like, let me get 4 chicken wings fried hard. And shit. He was like, wait. He's like, the two of you at once. You want beef? No, we want beef to eat. I want 4 chicken wings fried hard. What the fuck is wrong with you? Fried hard. You know the worst part is, I was somewhere where somebody actually did order something fried hard. I don't even understand what that's supposed to mean. Just left it longer. I'm like, why don't you just say left it longer? Kim Barnes, every day before we walk to school, you make me listen to this. That skit, oh my God, that's hilarious. Like it's taking me back to the street, to his porch. That skit, but you gotta finish. You gotta listen to it when we leave. It's amazing. I just remember the Busta Rhymes skit. When he's like, run your jewels, run your paper. He said, run your jewels. I was in the Busta Rhymes the other day. That's what's missing, though, man, from hip hop. 100% honest. The skits, skill, because again, Busta Rhymes, Twister, nobody rhymes faster than them, and you can still understand what they're saying. It's not mumble. It's not like, it's not like, like, it's skill.
Hey, so say hi to Scott Curl. He's the only one watching and commenting right now.
You're watching the test upon test. I would say hi in the chat, but my phone being bad. Is it Scott with 2 T's or Scott with 1?
Scott with 2 T's.
Okay. Scotty does know.
Like Dre Scott? Like, yeah.
I try to not acknowledge anybody. Anybody named Scott with 1 T. I don't even understand 1 T. Why you drop the T? Where that T go? Yeah, right. Parents trying to be different. I guess so. I'm Scott with 1 T. It's the same thing though, because like my last name is the color green. Whenever I see that extra E on the end, I'm like, why you got that extra E, bro? Don't you drop that shit?
Oh,
like, get out of here. Green,
I'm sorry.
Like, what? Yeah.
Josh says he's watching too, just quietly observing.
Appreciate it. Hold on. How do you know you watch but quietly? He's a creep.
He's a creep.
What was that? The other guy? When Bruce Wayne kept
Michael Keaton saying TLC references. That was the funniest.
His name is Michael Keaton. It was Bruce Wayne. Or you can either call him Birdman. Is it Bruce Wayne or he's Birdman? My favorite or the Animaniacs that forehead. Yeah, one of my favorite parts though. One of my favorite parts in that film was Birdman or Batman. No, and the other guys. Was when he was at their funeral for I almost called him Hobbs and Shaw. He was at the funeral for Sam Jackson and the Rock's character, and they were having that quiet fight. That part to me was the funniest. And the worst part is he jumps over there and he's screaming at him, but he's screaming quiet. I'm like, This is the funniest thing I've ever seen in life. Mike's like, he's playing with what you got. I was like, dude, Michael Keaton is a freaking. That dude is so awesome, man. I haven't watched that Birdman ever. I need to pop that. Birdman put it over the top. I wasn't trying to watch Full Metal Alchemist. I'm trying to get through that series. That's a long ass. Yeah, I never finished Brotherhood. This man is a fan of One Piece. That's a long ass series. Well, the thing is, what you do is when you watch One Piece, you watch it till it. Dude, it's been on for almost 20 years.
Oh no,
years. No joke.
See, it's like Josh is doing the work. He says audio on live feed has a bit of popping.
Yeah.
Deep voices of Chris and Sean a bit on the difficult to hear range.
Oh boy. So do you need me to talk like this? You gotta fiddle with those knobs over there, man.
Yeah, okay. All right. So
not too much game. Just like this. Nice. Hey, Roger Rabbit is
that's a classic. Absolute classic.
It's a classic. Didn't you used to be Eddie Value?
Didn't Jack Daniels?
You know how bad of alcohol I have to be?
Right.
Did you change your name to Jack
Daniels?
You know the worst part is, though, if you look at Roger Rabbit, outside of the blueprint for a woman of Jessica Rabbit, for my own personal taste, of course, but the fact that the story, if you really think about it, is actually true. Like, they kind of did get rid of all the public transportation so they could basically kind of run the freeway system. Yeah, it's like that's kind of real life.
He said you need that Marcus Murphy upper range. Oh wow.
Hey, that's a killer.
I laugh high pitch and I drive a minivan.
That drives a minivan.
Monday, born on a Sunday. Is that better?
Wow.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. When they pulled out Solomon Grundy for Gotham, I was kind of. Oh my goodness.
Are we?
Henry Rollins.
Why are we talking about that show?
Oh my goodness. And the worst part is the girl that was playing his girlfriend is so fine. It's like it's ridiculous.
talked real, not like wrestling, kayfabe trash, like real trash about him.
Yeah.
Like, you come back, you left, you said he's gonna be here, this and that. It's just like,
Man, gotta eat.
Exactly, but it's like, I think what it was, and Cena even admitted this later, is he was speaking out of ignorance, because it's like, Rock can't come back and wrestle full time because his movies, his production company, all the stuff he does employs, like you said, if Rock gets hurt, that movie is on hiatus until Rock comes back.
Yeah, because there is no, why don't we cast somebody else?
Right.
No.
So it's like Cena didn't understand that part of it until he started doing movies and saw like, dude, outside of you being in the ring and the crowd and other wrestlers working with you, and the worst part is like, you should even see this and understand this just from a wrestling standpoint. But I guess because Vince McMahon keeps the machine rolling even when people get injured, he didn't see that side of it. It's like, dude, John, if you're the star of the movie and you get injured because you was in the ring,
for sure,
all these people that is, expecting a paycheck off of this movie, that's on hold.
Yeah.
So, and he didn't understand that part of it until, he's got more into movies. Because again, remember the movies he did were WWE movies at the time.
Yeah, even now, I'm
Shooter 1, 2, 3, and 4.
baffled. I'm baffled by the hair, as I am with Deion Sanders.
I don't understand
I'm
why.
confused with the hair.
The hair
But
weird.
I mean, he's definitely committed to it, because when he did that movie, it was Blockers, and he had to do the beer chug via the butt. I said, "Oh, okay, John." So we're gonna go. That's where we're going, huh?
Right.
But I knew Vince McMahon was a monster of the machine when D'Lo Brown came out with them pointed boots on in that turban. That's when I knew that Vince McMahon is a monster.
Right.
I said this guy D'Lo was.
Vince did not care, dude.
He had D'Lo jumping through hoops.
Care.
Whatever it takes.
They say that boy Iron Sheik still got a beef with Hogan. Like, stop it.
Iron Sheik is hilarious to me, though. I've always thought he was freaking hilarious. It's just like,
Now you got a 30-year-old beef.
Like, and it's crazy now that you mentioned Hogan, because even if you look at Stone Cold, he's had relatively great success. Not as loud as The Rock, but he's had probably 6 or 7 shows.
Oh yeah, no, Stone Cold
on television.
Stone Cold gets his he gets his screen time for sure. I think what it is honestly with him is after he had that match with Owen Hart and he got his neck legitimately broken, or whatever actually happened, because it was just a bad pile driver. It was a tombstone pile driver gone way wrong, and that basically could have ended his life, but it basically put the mad brakes on his career.
Yeah, because it was like him and The Rock were wrestling. Well, I'm sorry, him and The Rock and Triple H. They were wrestling.
Makes me wonder how Owen Hart would have been had he not, died in that incident. Would he have been like?
That's a good question.
And then how would Brett have been? Because obviously that had an effect.
It did. It made him hate Vince McMahon. Even I still don't understand that screw jobs. Screw jobs don't make sense to me in wrestling at all.
Because it's all predicted.
Yeah, because the promoter's telling you what you're gonna do. And if they change it on the fly, that's what's supposed to happen. You can't really get screwed. There's like, if it was like baseball, football, something like that, and how the Detroit Lions get, play every freaking week.
Man,
I don't know. I'm not a big Lions fan. I want them to win because it makes the city look good.
Right.
Oh, for sure.
That's the main reason. I don't watch football like that because I give two
root
shits.
for people that lose.
So,
Yeah.
So we obviously know this is the Alpha episode.
Yeah.
We talking about a lot of stuff, and it's great. It's great. All of you out there that are watching, thank you for helping Josh, Scott. We appreciate you. Thanks a lot. But we did kind of say we wanted to do like an origin story for all of us. So,
okay.
like a lot of people don't know, we kind of just popped up on the scene and just started doing stuff, right? We never really explained how the term Culture Junkies even came about, like what was the impetus for us even doing this. So it started mostly with Dido and GQ, like back in the day. So and Big Pimp and J. It was kind of the three of you. I was off to the side. I didn't join really until later. But where did the whole Culture Junkies thing even begin?
Wait, what you talking about? It can't. No, what happened is, I'm gonna tell you the story. Is because back in the year 2000, I was trying.
Year 2000.
No, it wasn't 2000. What was it? it had to be 2002, 2003. I wanted to try to do a DVD magazine. I started getting people together. This was before the internet was how the internet was. And I got people together. We were doing stuff, but it never really came off. I mean, about the only thing that really got done is that I created a song that I don't know if I was going to use it for, and our friend Aaron Galinsky did a little, kind of like how the Culture Junkies has what Cisco did with the lightning and the Culture Junkies, whatever. He did something like that as well, which was surprising. I had a dream about it. I told him about the dream, and he freaking made it, happen. Things didn't happen too well, and then one day Sean called me and said, "Hey man, we got all this talent going on."
Wait, whoa.
Jumping ahead, brother.
All this is true, but you got to let them know of this timeline jump. You do it from 2000. We had like 2013, 2015 now.
No, because it was at my house in Detroit.
No, that was like
14, 15?
Yeah, it was like you jumped a decade. I'm just saying, you gotta let. You said 2000. You said I called
2003.
I don't even know if I knew y'all in 2000.
2003, you knew?
Yeah, you did.
No. Okay, well, 2003.
Bro,
yeah.
I met the Reeves brothers when I was in high school.
Right.
Ryan was a senior and I was a sophomore.
I graduated in 2000.
Remember, he used to come over there.
Wait, so how long?
Remember, we was
I
working
met.
there.
Look, if you want to go way back to how we met them, this is how the story go. How
Well, true.
everybody know each
That's
other.
what I thought you was gonna do.
No, if you want to go back to that,
Jumped up.
a long time ago, I went to a certain school, and
Tell
then
it
I
all.
went to Henry Ford, whatever career technical center out Westland. That's next to the high school I believe you guys went to, right?
Yep.
Votech. So I went to the Votech, and I met Ryan, and Ryan and I became friends.
Andrew's brother.
Yeah, and then Andrew, he was his brother, and then like I didn't drive at the time. This guy, he's a great guy, would come to Detroit, pick me up, and then take me back to his house, hang out instead of just hanging out at my house.
You know they like to drive.
We was
Yeah, them Reeves brothers love.
yeah, we would still hang out at his house. So like, I don't know how often, but we would hang out all the time, right? And then one day, me and him were in Media Play, which people may remember, Suncoast, Media Play, all those places. Sam Goody. We were hanging out, and we were walking out, and I saw this flyer that was stuck up in there. It was like, there's a fighting game tournament coming up. I'm like, bro, we like fighting games. Let's go to this fighting game tournament. And he was like, yeah, let's go. Okay, so the day comes around for us to go. I call this guy up because, again, I don't drive at the time. It's like, bro, you going? He's like, nah, man, I don't want to go. The guy still acts like that to this day. To this day, he's still like that. I was like, man, so what the heck am I going to do? And then my mother's boyfriend at the time was like, man, you want to go? You can find a way. So, like, I was like, all right, who can I call? So I called my Uncle Cecil. My Uncle Cecil came over and took me and my cousin Maurice to the
Maurice.
Yeah, to the I don't remember what it was called. Southfield Center of the Arts. That's what it's called.
That's how his brother said it.
Yeah, it was this place out here. Right?
Side story. Tell that later.
You can tell such a later. So being there, I meet Chris over here. I meet Ken. I meet Will, and I meet Tavis, and they're the guys that threw the tournament. They threw the tournament. They were going to throw the tournament. They threw the tournament.
That's how you met.
That's how I met them. And then they were like, yeah, every Saturday here we have an anime club. We play video games. You guys come on out. Do that. So I'm like, for real? First off, my whole entire life growing up in Detroit, that means I'm surrounded by black people. Those are my people.
For sure.
But the motherfuckers don't like me because first off, I'm not as dark as everybody else and I'm a geek. And you know how it is.
True.
Light-skinned motherfuckers get shit.
True.
Regardless of that stuff, right? So I didn't know anybody. I tried to share my stuff, my video games, and the anime. I used to try to share that with people. Nobody gave a shit except for one of the dudes I went to high school with. His name was Ethan, but he ended up moving. I don't even know where he went. I ain't talked to that guy forever. And my brother was like, he had his foot in both sides. He was in the streets and he was, anime and video games or whatever.
In the streets? What?
Yeah, he was. Because this guy, he used to do stuff too. I mean, when I say in the streets, I'm not talking about he was out there selling drugs and slanging and shit like that. But he was hanging out with people in the streets, doing stuff, he would get into trouble and all that other stuff too. But regardless of that, we're not talking about that. We're going back to what you call it. So I'm like, wow. So there's other black people that like shit like me. Hell yeah, I'm going to be here. So I tell Ryan about this stuff, and he finally like, oh, okay. So we started going out to this anime club. Every Saturday, 4 p.m. it started, and it usually ended at 4 a.m. in the morning, eating pizza, watching anime, and playing video games for a long time. That was developing friendships. We were heavy into fighting games back there, heavy into eating a lot of fucking pizza. It's still here.
Here's the crazy thing. That was also the kind of unofficial birth of the $5 pizza at
Yeah.
Little Caesars.
We
Because
used
there was
to-
a Little Caesars basically across
10
the street.
mile. It was a
10
10
mile in
mile.
Southfield.
Mhm.
That since we were there all the time and we always bought pizza all the time.
And a lot of it.
Yeah, after a certain point in time, it was just like all the large pizzas were $5 for us. So,
But yeah. So, like, the anime club, I don't know exactly. We weren't able to have the anime club there, and we ended up moving around the spots. But one of the things I like to do is because, first off, I was like, wow, again, people that, I can't say look like me because I'm fucking light-skinned and shit, but but being black and like anime, so I wanted to keep in touch with everybody. I was like, when I moved out of my mom's house, I was like, you know what, inviting people over, hanging out at the Reeves Brothers' house, doing whatever you can when we were going to movies, blah, 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 trying to keep people in touch. Again, 2003 rolls around, I ended up buying a house. You know, I was in an apartment when we were trying to do the DVD magazine. And
We were still in high school. We graduated in 2002.
yeah, so you guys probably weren't hanging out too much, but
it was the one apartment in Redford, right?
no, that's Detroit,
That's
bro.
Detroit?
But yeah, that was the apartment that was near the railroad tracks, and then
Yeah,
we
that
moved
one.
to Southfield because Severo, he moved with me.
Yeah.
And we were in Southfield. That's when I had the idea when we were in Southfield off the freeway over there because I love that apartment.
Now I'm in the woods.
Yeah, and then we only stayed there for a year, and that's when we moved to the house in Detroit.
House was great.
Yeah, I missed that house, and that's when we used to have all the people over, video games here and there. Remember, everybody pissing Tavis off in fucking Halo because
that shit,
everybody just everybody targeted him. His whole team targeted him. That shit was hilarious.
That's when Real Sean was born. But
Yeah.
that Halo was great.
But I just remember one day Sean had called me and said,
Wait a minute.
Where am I skipping?
Jumping again.
You're skipping
what am I
about
skipping?
5 years.
Because you got to meet
So that
us.
was so that was what 2000.
Because we knew Andrew.
This is before I even moved to LA.
Yeah. Wait.
No, I knew you before you moved to LA. Because you were driving the red fucking
Come on, now. Go ahead now.
Firebird.
Go ahead. TV, speakers in the back.
Yeah, I
But no.
remember that car.
So I can only really put it in play is in regards to Ethan. It was before Ethan because I was
way before
I was
Ethan.
in GQ's basement when my now wife called me and told me she was pregnant. And I don't even know how far along we were.
No, this
with
had
the
to
show.
be before then because you had either called me or text me asking about that stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember you came to the house in Detroit and we were sitting there talking about stuff and I said, look, I'm going to...
But we had this conversation twice.
It might have been twice because I remember being...
What was the one where we had it and it was me?
We did
and
after
it was
I
me.
got people together. Because, I was like,
Okay.
I was like, yeah, well, we got Chris, we got Jay, let's do this stuff. Why
Yeah.
not? Why don't we do this stuff?
I didn't know I came to your house. Oh, damn.
I remember you being there. Now, memories can be false, but I remember you being
I
there.
thought we all met in Chris's
Mandela
basement.
effect?
Yeah, we did as
No, we
well.
did. That was essentially.
I think that was after
that
we
was
got
the second
everybody
time.
together.
Yeah,
Okay,
because I was like, he was like, yeah, you got all this talent. I was like, well, let me talk to people and let's do this stuff.
Yeah, that might have been 2014 then, I think, because if it's 2019 now. Because
It was not 5 years
When
ago,
did we do the
was it?
show? It was right before we did the show.
Maybe it was 5 years ago.
It was probably 6 years ago. To
Yeah,
be
'cause
honest.
what was
Maybe
the
six
show?
years ago.
Closer to 6 years.
Has it been that long?
Of course.
When did I get married? 8 years ago.
Because here's the thing.
So no,
Yeah.
dude, we were at my house and I moved out of that house when I got married. And I've been married 8 years.
So it's before that then.
It could no, because he's 16 now. He was maybe 11, I think. Talking about Travis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been 6 or 7.
What, when we
It's
started?
been- yeah. It's been 6 or
That
7
conversation
years.
you guys had might have been a couple years before.
Right. prior to
Whatever.
that.
Right.
We,
But I'm saying when we got started,
when we met in my basement, that was at least 6 years
Yeah,
ago.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that
Because
was
we were trying to figure out how to do it and I was trying to say, hey, look, let's freaking use equipment that we have.
Yeah.
Let's get moving
With the phone,
and just
yeah.
get grooving. We know we got stuff to capture stuff. We got stuff to do this stuff. Let's move.
Well, realistically, if you want
has
to get
moved.
the actual timeline,
You can just
go
watch
back,
it.
Just go back to the original episode of Game and push back maybe 6 months.
Well,
Because you still got some of that test footage, don't you?
I have
I'll
all of this
hand-
test
You can do that
footage.
footage?
I'll head to
When we
YouTube
did the
right
show.
now. and Take a look.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can look at game.
Man, this timeline is worse than the X-Men franchise.
Nah, it ain't.
Nah, that's not that kind
It's
of
still in the kind of in a straight line. But anyway, so I try to get everybody together to do game, and game worked for the most part until we couldn't use that spot anymore.
But wait.
What am I skipping?
No, you're not skipping anything. But you can't just gloss over game like that.
I'm not glossing over game.
It wasn't glorious.
Game.
We were in the studio.
We were in the studio. We were doing the game, and we
before
made
social media blew up.
Yeah, we were doing a lot of stuff on there, shooting. I don't know how many episodes, at least 4 or 5, because they were all 15-minute episodes.
No, the first taping, the first official taping of game was way over ambitious. We were like, we're gonna do 15 episodes today. It's like, wait, what?
Oh, bro.
Like, hold on,
bro.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
I remember we was just in there like, okay,
because we had no idea.
This is crazy.
The setup, the takedown.
It was like,
it was a lot of work, a lot more work than we thought.
No,
and that's kind of why I was trying to say, let's just
do it.
Use what we got, man.
I remember.
Because like when I look at people, look at Marquise Brownlee. If you go back and look at his first video,
he was
just a kid shooting on whatever he got, talking about whatever he could put his hands in. Now that man is freaking.
They move. I don't like this phone. The whole company like, oh shit, scrap the phone.
Yep. Like, I mean, he is big time influencer. Microsoft had him out there showing all their new stuff. Freaking Elon Musk talking to Elon Musk, doing all this stuff.
Kobe, he talked to everybody.
Yeah.
He is colossal.
And he just started off using whatever he had. But I digress. I'm not gonna talk about the past like that.
We're older now.
But we did game. Couldn't use the studio anymore. We used your in-laws' basement for a bit,
which was great too.
I liked that spot. Yeah.
That listen. Even though he was bothered by it, that time I was talking to Mike.
Mike Bison.
Mike Bison. Oh man. I wish that was somewhere.
Man, what do you mean? Wish it was somewhere? It was. We used it in the convention loop.
Yeah. So listen. So there's an episode right that we filmed, and I was joking. Mike apparently thought I was for real.
Clearly was not.
Oh, man. In Mike's defense, he had just met us. Like,
this is true, and especially me.
Like maybe like a month before that, because he was working at the same place that Big Pimpin' Jay was working.
Shout out to Mike Bison, man. I love that guy. Yeah, that guy's great.
So, we see him every once in a while because he rent the outside there for because he's a mentor to kids now. And he want to have a place to bring his kids. So we're still trying to hook that spot up out there where we can have, video games going whenever the heck they want.
Matter of fact, anybody watching the test show right now, we got a game.
You got a game night coming out October 26th. And Mr. Andrew Reeves, who don't know how to respond to texts unless it's about video games. I love you, bro.
He's a family man.
I know. Man, come on.
He's retired.
He may respond to fuck to you all the time. He don't respond to me.
Hold on. You're going to turn him into Guile.
Right.
Family man.
Yeah, I'm not saying you ain't a family man. You could be a family man and still do things.
Look at me. That's what I do.
Today. I'll try to call him today.
But regardless of that, regardless of all that other stuff, we got this stuff going on.
Low $5 cover.
So check it out. So I'm looking at YouTube right now, and did we delete any episodes that you can recall?
I don't think we deleted anything on that.
No, nothing's ever been deleted.
Okay, so if everything is up there, the very, very first episode of Game was concerning DC versus Marvel Animation.
Of course.
This was July 16th, 2013.
Damn.
Okay. So
2013.
Yeah, 6 years.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was before you.
We should.
So realistically, the actual start probably was 4 months before that, because we spent a lot. We spent time testing concept, and then Big Pimpin' Jay was like, "Hey, we could probably use the studio."
And that's 100% true. But I still remember being at that house in Detroit.
So that must have been the first time I did it, because I remember the second time it wasn't. But it was a couple of days later that we were in his basement. So it must have been 2 conversations. I apologize for not being more aggressive the first time then, because we could have. But damn, man, just imagine look at where the.
I just think I should have been a lot more aggressive, man. My whole thing is that I have. I don't want to say 2 sides of me, but there's a side that I always try to keep bottled up, and that's the anger side. When I feel upset about stuff, I want to pop but I have to freaking pull back. Like you guys are friends. I don't want to pop like that because I'm not talking about being violent. I'm just talking about
you're always angry.
It kind of is kind of like
green.
But here's the one thing about that though, and this is why I tell people this all the time, that I don't really have friends, and again it's Vin Diesel's line, but I don't have friends. I got family.
Yeah.
If you pop and get mad, if you're not directly insulting my mother or hardcore insulting me, whatever, I still get it because that's your passion. That's not you're angry, but you ain't angry at me directly. It's not personal. It's you're angry because it's like, man, we got all this potential and we're not using it. I don't mind that. I'd rather see that, to be honest.
I mean, well, you're seeing it because you recorded it and it's up there somewhere.
Oh no, that's where the rant scream came.
Yeah,
from.
yeah. Well,
Yes, dude, I still have that footage. That's the one thing about I archive footage, man. I keep all that stuff because it's fun.
Yeah, man. So
awesome.
he's got footage of me from shit. How long ago was
When you were scared playing that video game?
Was that 20 years ago?
No, what?
With me and Henry and the Luther Vandross ticket shit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Vandross
like
tickets.
20 years ago.
He can tell the story better. It's his story.
Yeah,
Luther Vandross tickets.
So quiet as kept, right? Not even quiet as kept, but
Yeah,
long
you're
time
about to
ago.
tell a story.
Yeah, so long time ago, like 20. Yeah,
Quite a while ago, because that was
quite a while.
before the millennium.
It was before, yeah. So it's literally 20 years ago, like 1998, 99.
Damn.
Both Chris, myself, Will, and our friend Tavis, we were approached by comic book legend Arvell Jones to come and work at his shop, his web shop, because we were going to run a geek culture website, much like IGN.
And the funny thing is, that job came about because Will was passing out flyers about our
At the
video game
anime
tournament. Again, it's that anime and video
The
game
anime
tournament that
convention.
seems to be the nexus of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of stuff jumped off of that. So we were working there, and we had a really good time, and we were doing our thing. So our boss Henry, loved to fashion himself as a big shot. Ran a video production company called Mad
Can't
Mad
give no
Productions.
names now.
No, but but Mad Mad is defunct. So anyway,
What did Jameson say? He was like, libel is. He was like, slander is spoken in print. It's libel. So this is spoken.
I ain't put no last names.
Just don't put no names out. Period, man. All that stuff is.
Anyway.
You know what Google is.
Yeah. So
Look at you.
Anyway, so he would get these tickets to concerts at DTE Energy Music Theater, what used to be Pine Knob back in the day. And so Luther Vandross, had come to town,
if too much,
and Boys to Men was fronting for him.
Opening.
And,
It's called
at the
opening.
time-
Fronting is an illegal activity done by mob.
So, Aaron is watching the show, and he says, "I remember this."
There you go.
This is the
So
same
anyway,
Gillespie guy?
at the time,
Yes, it is.
I wanted to take my girlfriend at the time to the show, and Henry was like, "What you willing to do for it?" Basically, he was like, "If you get down and beg,
Oh, hell no.
and I'll give you the tickets." So I
My-
did.
my-
And Chris's punk ass, of course, has the camera.
Hey.
He's filming it all.
Again,
First of
like
all,
I said, I have footage of people in doing things that they might not ever know that they would have done.
Right.
That's my whole MO. It's like I have blackmail material for decades.
hold on. First of all,
And
shot it.
there is no footage of me doing anything because, damn it, as far as y'all are concerned, I was born full grown in full size. Because nobody knows what my childhood was like except me.
hold on, bro. You begged for some damn Luther Vandross tickets?
Which is hilarious because
In
you
the
think
80s?
about it. Right. No, this is going to cut the 80s. It was the
if
90s.
too much, if too much.
Exactly.
died,
But here's the
wasn't
funny thing is, here's the funny part of it though. It's like you thinking about it. It's like at the time I would have been 21, 22, so that means that Kenshiro would have been a little bit younger. What girlfriend is over there trying to see Luther Vandross? Man? Are you sure it wasn't trying to get to see the Boys to Men part of the show?
No, that was part of it too.
I can imagine
Boys
him
to
in a tie-dye jean outfit. Get down to the table, please, baby, please. Let me get some tickets. Oh, man.
Yeah. So yeah.
But, so to what Darian was saying, he and I had wanted to do it one way, like the very generic and simple way. And there were some other people that wanted to make it glamorous. And there was a delay, but I mean, I think ultimately whatever happened was going to happen. But in me and in Dee's mind, we would have been at 30 million followers had we did it our way, and that's just how we're going to always believe it. But in retrospect, I mean, I love what we did, and it was a great time. But I still think our iPhone cameras would have been fine at the time. But that's what Dee's talking about. That's what he had bottled in there, and he didn't want to unleash the fury.
Yeah, well, try to keep that contained as much as possible. They shouldn't even have to be there.
But sometimes you gotta unleash the fury. Though.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to. And we had some classic times.
Yeah.
In basements.
But I definitely want us to grow. My basement, Andrew, I used to be. Everybody, when I got my house, my understanding is like, seriously, I was like, because they still live with their parents. And I was like, I don't. So I don't want to bother their parents. I want people to come over the heck over here.
Andrew days and kick us out.
Yeah.
2 in the morning.
Yeah, but he kicked us out at like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Speaking of, listen. Let's just shout out to the Reeves family. Like we're talking about weekdays at somebody's house on a weekday until 2 a.m.
We had jobs,
and we're on the 9 decibel wise, and once we got to about 10 and a half, okay,
it's like, all right, you got to go.
Yeah,
he's
but
like, remember what he said? He said, man, I'm telling y'all coming over here. I'm trying to walk naked around my house.
Yeah, he was. I mean, we used to eat food, drinking water.
But we had to wake Andrew up though. Andrew didn't get up to like 4 in the afternoon.
Right.
And that was actually the main issue because he didn't get up until late, so he didn't get over there until
all
late.
night.
Yeah.
Messing with us. Oh man.
I think that's when I got my full-time job. That's when I stopped hanging out there because I'd be tired of after work.
His immaculate Gundam collection.
Yeah.
Like he was building Gundams like crazy back then.
Yeah, he was that commercial before that commercial came out.
For real?
Actually,
that Gundam Wing commercial?
level 15 Gundam, 16 hours. I'm like, shut
I
up.
remember one day we were all over there, and Chris Miles had no white Timberlands on.
They weren't white. They were actually
cream.
They were more cream, wheat colored.
I said, man, you got on the Timbs? And you had the turtleneck to match with it too.
Always.
I was like, okay. It was like all over, like Severio was over there. We was like 10, 20 deep in that small basement.
It was Andrew's house or it was Daidakuji's house,
It was
man.
because of y'all. I found out about Black Panther.
Yeah, because SmackDown and Raw.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. It's usually Raw at my house and then
SmackDown
SmackDown at his
Yep.
house. And we used to do that all the freaking
I
time.
told you
the
about
time.
Black Panther.
We were ahead of.
Because you was like, man, ain't nobody better than Batman. I said,
Yeah, that's true. That is. I did say that.
And he was like, "Oh my gosh, my life has changed."
Yeah, because they showed me the
Why do I not see the chat?
Was that when I brought over the animation?
No.
This is when he found out about the books.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was
it was the original Helen.
no, it was a house. It was a House of M.
House of M.
And he had beheaded Sabretooth, and he had Black Bolt eviscerate, and I don't use that word lightly. He had Black Bolt eviscerate Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Apocalypse walked in the room, and Black Panther like moved out the way or something, and there was Black Bolt standing there, and all you seen was Apocalypse's eyes get wide, and then it flashes back to Black Bolt, and he just said, that motherfucker Apocalypse.
But no, the other one too to blew your mind back is
Amazing.
When he had all of Tony Stark's cables, wiring was from.
Oh no, but by that time, that's when I was buying the books.
But
Oh yeah,
believe me, I was
so
like,
yeah.
bruh.
So this is another reason why, like, I ride so hard how I do for Black Panther and Batman is because I had dove in. Like once I go, like Marcus and them all tell you, like if I find a song I like, I might listen to it 47 times that day.
Like Wangster.
Hey man,
Hey.
hey man, listen.
Hey, remember Firebird? We drive around the hood.
Man, come on, man. But yeah, man, like the Black Panther. Yeah, when I found out that he had had all these dummy corporations and he essentially had like owned
Stark Industries.
had owned Stark Industries to a bunch, and that, like all the fiber optics in the building,
Yeah.
it came from him. Like it was just, and then, when I watched the movie, well, whatever.
But see, the thing is, you putting decades worth of character build.
But then,
into something.
goddamn it, they did it. They put a decade's worth of stuff into Robert Downey Jr. I'm just asking for the same thing.
You're not hearing what I'm saying. Black Panther as a character was built up to that.
Oh, for sure, because he was kind of trash. He's fighting the Klan.
Right, over
Getting
years and years and years.
Getting finessed by golden frogs.
Right.
Yeah.
If you really look at Tony Stark's history, they only scratched the surface in the MCU. Tony
True.
Stark goes way deeper than what Robert Downey Jr. did.
True.
But since that's what they started with first, he was the most important character in that entire thing.
He changed everything.
Right, because had that first movie failed, there'd be no MCU. Because they literally said this is an experiment. And they had and I think that's part of the reason that the whole thing with Nick Fury was an after credit scene. It was just kind of one of those. They're not making this part of the main narrative. If this movie fails, okay, that was just something we put at the end of the movie. It doesn't necessarily count.
And right, yeah, exactly. And now it's a trademark.
Yeah.
Well,
no, I mean, the after credits thing or the Easter egg started way back with James Bond.
James Bond did? I thought Ferris Bueller.
Nah. Which one do you think came out first?
That's not the issue. I remember watching James. I don't remember seeing stuff at the end of the
but
credits.
Marvel movies,
Well, no. Marvel movies, there's an after credit scene. The whole thing with the Easter egg for movies, technically, the James Bond Will Return is considered an after credits Easter egg.
See, now that right there is different for me. For me, an after credit scene is literally more of the movie.
Yeah, no, I got you. I completely agree. Ferris Bueller. But the thing is, Ferris Bueller, if you really think about it, it was an after credit scene, but they still had an actual scene playing through the credits with Rooney on the school bus.
Did.
So they kept you in the theater anyway because of the Rooney on the school bus, and then they just went back to full screen for Ferris as part of the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So I forgot what the actual true official after credit scene is or which movie it was.
Was it Nightmare on Elm Street?
Because I think it probably was something back in the old times. Back in silent films or something. But wait, there's more.
But to Jay's and GQ Chris's credit, like we were doing like test shoots, it was. I'm just going back to that. We were.
Yeah, I've got all that footage.
It was amazing. Still. I've had some of I've said a lot of things that have been pretty solid that nobody ever found on that there's no recording of. But damn it, Chris Miles got some sound bites of me that are classic.
That's the whole.
When I was out there cutting that grass.
Yeah.
And,
that commercial we filmed it one day. That was funny.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
And then it turned into the Mike Bison rant.
Yeah.
So I'm out there cutting grass, Mike.
Martin Scorsese's Transformers.
That rant was classic too.
That shit was awesome.
Like I said, that's what stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why we just gotta just stay with it. But we saying all this to say that we're not just a bunch of guys who just got together. They've been doing this for 2 decades. I won't say what I was doing one of the decades, but in the second decade, around that time,
half the time.
Around that time, I came along. But yeah, it's just we've been doing this for a while.
Oh yeah,
it's tomfoolery.
Yeah, and it's definitely time to make something. Make something
happen.
Of it, especially with how the internet is.
Well, not only that, saying on top
Social
of that,
media.
the fact that it's been that length of time, but it's still been fun the entire time is a testament. Is a testament to the group of people that we all hang around with.
As you said, family.
Yeah, because it's real easy for people to come. It's again like a band, like a boy band or something. It's like they come together, they do their thing.
Don't put it like that.
Again, I didn't say which boy band.
I mean, all of them, usually all of them break up.
Right.
Boys to Men did break up. One of them died. That's still.
Is that what happened to Wanye?
Yeah.
What? He's dead?
Yeah, still
dead.
Are you sure?
Because I know 3 of them are still alive. The other guy's dead. The guy with the deep voice is dead?
No, he is not dead. He's just not with the group.
I'm sorry. He's dead?
One of them is dead.
Please forgive me for all the things I've done. He's dead?
Because I was in Vegas and I saw Boys to Men poster. There was only 3 of them.
I'm mad he got Boys to Men posters as a hip hop group.
He said because he only saw 3 of them, he didn't declare him dead.
Oh, no. I think the one
he's still alive.
He is savage.
I think he had
He's still alive. He definitely still alive.
He's walking on the cane.
He said he currently has an app released called Cooley High Experience, an online school for performing arts with all classes.
Oh wait, no, that's the wrong one.
You said that's. I thought that's the name.
I said the wrong name. You had to go to deep voice. Yeah, that guy. Is he still alive?
Yes.
Yeah, he alive. He just don't do no more.
Who's that?
He got scoliosis.
What's his
That's
name?
what it was. His name is Michael.
In other words,
Michael McCary.
Michael McCary.
Clearly,
is dead to me.
in the house of Miles, scoliosis is a death sentence. he declared him dead.
Hey, if that boy Montel Williams can survive it.
The fact that I said Wanye and he knew how to spell it is also incredible. I don't know how to spell Wanye, and he typed it right in and pulled him up.
W?
Yeah, literally.
There you go.
It's literally
Kanye
that.
with a W. Motherfucker's name Wayne. Yeah, it reminds me of this guy I know that called himself Kanine instead of Keenan. Listen, no matter what his voicemail says, it cannot beat the ultimate voicemail. It said, the caller you called is not here, but you've reached Zakiri. I said, who is Zakiri? Motherfucker, Zach? I said, who is Zakiri? But,
Like Zach.
but I digress. That boy said Zakiri.
Like, who the fuck is
Like it was like I'm a woman calling.
Yo, here's the worst part though. It's like it sounds like something like all the people that jumped on because Black Panther was coming out and suddenly Wakanda was a real place and all the other stuff. That's what that sounds like.
Zakiri.
That's funny.
This dude Zach really did that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That was his voicemail.
Yeah. That is his voicemail.
That was it.
Wow. Wait, is
Zakiri.
or was?
It might be still is.
Zakiri.
Somebody called him. He might have answered them because I was just talking to him.
Yeah, who the hell is Zakiri?
That's hilarious.
I call Zach.
You know what the funny thing is? Now that I think about it, I remember one of the things that I always said was hilarious to me in Kill Bill was that Sophie Fatale had the same ringtone from the moment they killed her at her wedding rehearsal all the way to when she found her in the House of Blue Leaves. But now I can't really say that because I've had the Avengers theme as my ringtone from
Since the movie came
yeah,
out?
since the first movie came out. I did upgrade in Infinity War though when they put them horns behind it though. I was like,
Oh,
I
did you?
gotta upgrade. I gotta upgrade.
You gotta
yeah,
upgrade.
But yeah, I guess technically I can't make that joke no more because I'm
You can
not-
always do it.
Well, yeah.
You can
I
always
just
make
never
a
thought
joke.
I'd be that guy because I think that.
I mean, you like something, ride with it.
No, man. I mean,
I
look,
agree.
the voicemail at his house was something special too, because it ring and ring and ring and ring, and then it pick up. He'd be like, "Hello,
Oh yeah, I remember them.
leave a message at the phone. I'm not here."
Yeah, I hate that with a passion.
He got me with that the first time.
Shoot, man.
Well, hold on. You want to know where that came from? There's
Yeah, go ahead.
two places where that came from. The first one, of course, is "I'm going to get you sucker." When that was his voicemail at the. What was it? Did he call or did he actually go up to his apartment?
No, I think that's when he was at the apartment.
Yeah, he went. Yeah, he was at the apartment, and then the second time was kind of Batman the Animated Series inspired. Where it was an episode where Joker had like a really really crazy voicemail, but it starts off with just the hello and then the pause, and then it goes into like the whole Joker being Joker. But so that's where that comes from.
My father.
Was it Joker's favor? Was that the one
It might well hold
where he
on.
left the message?
It might I'm sorry, it was Joker's favor because that was the first actual appearance of the Joker in
Yes.
Batman the Animated
That was a
Series.
classic episode, man.
My father was legitimately mad. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I had that hello. I
Pissed
had
me
it.
off a few times.
I had it perfected because no matter if you knew, I had it to where you thought it was me. My father was legit irate. He was who the fuck plays like that on the phone? Because I was like, hey, hold on, what's going on? Because I think I had music playing.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Radio down.
let me go ahead and cut the radio down so I can hear what you're saying. Oh man, I'm just playing around. I ain't even here, man. It's a voicemail. Oh man, my father was irate.
Actually, Andrew still has the same voicemail.
Oh wow.
Andrew.
this is dad.
This is dad.
This is dad.
Andrew. Andrew.
It's been like that since what?
Forever.
Since his
You've
first
reached
phone?
Andrew.
Here's the funny thing though, because now you said the music, I remember everybody was trying to do that back in the day.
Oh man, I
had a little slow jam in the background,
Yeah.
trying to talk
Oh, yeah.
radios on the radio.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, dude, I feel like first of all, you're talking into a phone, so it's gonna sound wrong.
Right.
All of that stuff was just funny, man. Like that. God, that was my first year of college, and everybody was trying to do that.
I had that next tail. Yeah, man.
Chirp.
Was out there getting
God, the chirp. I used to hate that. Oh my God, I used to hate
Wholesale was
that.
going on.
Yeah.
I had one of them in school. I was like the only person. I had a Nextel in school.
Man,
And the funny thing about the Nextel is like I had gotten them before they had like kind of gotten popular. So it was like only one person. I was only talking to one person, and it was Joe.
too.
Yeah, and it was Joe
Yeah.
Stevens, and I was in class. Shut it up! I hit that thing accidentally. It was like shut it up. It was like, hey man, where the fuck is you at? Like all you hear is his voice in class. So so I just kind of sat still. It was like maybe nobody will know where the sound originated from. she was like, but yeah, that
sidekick.
that I-1000.
No, not the sidekick. No, he has a two-way pager.
No.
Oh man, listen, I
He's
was
the only one with a two-way pager.
Yeah, man.
No, I used to have a pager.
But you ain't had that big Motorola. No, man.
No, of course not.
I was big CEO.
Bob Gross wanted to see your pretty face.
Oh, I don't know who Bob Gross is, but
I know who Bob Gross is. He was like,
no,
where's
I know
GQ's
Bob.
fan?
Bob is from
Why do I not
studio.
see this
Bob
chat
was from
in
the
the? Is
studio.
this in YouTube?
Is Bob from the studio?
Yeah, Bob was the manager
from
of
the
the studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this in YouTube?
I don't know. I'm not quite
No,
sure.
Facebook.
Oh, it's
But
on
no,
Facebook. You got a live stream on Facebook too?
Here's the funny thing, though.
Why don't
I remember, when you said the sidekick, that made me think of his brother.
Oh, my brother had that sidekick.
Oh, my goodness,
he
man.
loved that phone.
Oh, my.
Oh, bro, the sidekick, yes.
Oh, that's the old Maurice story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know about
I
that,
guess
right?
so.
The
I
whole
don't know.
Okay,
I don't know
so-
about this story.
We was at I forgot whose house we were at, and he said, "Man, yeah, man, I was over there. We was watching anime and all that."
So he's telling us the story
Right.
about what happens to his phone.
And then he's like, "Yeah, man, Maurice got up and stepped him off phone." I was like, "Oh, Maurice!"
But you got to add the man in there.
I said, "Maurice, man."
like your brother.
He broke the phone like 2-3 times.
Oh, wow.
Your brother. I'm gonna tell another story about your brother that I probably shouldn't tell, but
Oh, I know you're talking about.
fuck it.
Oh, don't tell me about the trash bags.
I
I knew about
About the other one.
That was kind of the same. It was the same situation, but it was like two stories out of one
I was
story.
going to tell it.
No, you
Might
couldn't
as well
tell it.
tell the world.
You the one who was throwing the party.
No, I'm talking about the sex toy.
Oh, dog.
You know about that story?
No, please.
So
Oh, please tell the story.
it was me, his brother, and Andrew. We went to the porn shop, whatever. Right? We young, you know. And he
Was
said,
this one y'all went to Canada?
No. This is the one.
Why does this sound like this is about to be like that movie with them kids?
No.
Oh,
The porn
yeah.
shop on
Go right
Garden
ahead.
City.
Okay.
We went
let's
to
talk
that one,
about-
right?
Yeah.
And Chris buys the fake pussy.
You probably could have,
Oh,
cleaned that up a little bit.
Pocket vagina. The pocket vagina.
Excuse my language.
Yeah.
We've been saying all the anyway.
But that ain't that word.
Yeah. Anyway, so he buys it, and then a couple days later, I said, "Man, you actually bought that? Like, you actually used it?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I had to take it back too. I ain't like it." I said, "What? You took it back?" Yeah, I took it. I said, "What did you returned it? You returned it." I said, "Did you at least clean it out?" Yeah, man, I cleaned it out. I ain't nasty like that. I said, "You still bought one. Why are you taking it back?" Man, I didn't like the way it felt, man.
Oh, wow.
You tell you that.
There is only one of your brothers.
And
Christopher, that's one of the things about
There is only one of your
Chris.
brothers.
He is not a liar because
No,
he
he's
will
not.
tell you. Did I ever
Oh,
tell you this story? This happened when we were kids. Now, one of the things Christopher I appreciate about him, he not only is changing his life.
Oh, 100%.
He don't never want to talk about the old stuff. The old stuff is there, Chris.
Yeah,
and
man.
you just got to take it and roll with it.
Yeah, man.
It doesn't mean that who
Appreciate
you are now is not who you are now. But this story was still funny as shit because, like I said, Chris don't lie. Unfortunately, sometimes they get you in trouble. We were at my aunt's house. It's Maurice's mom. Because in the summertime, we used to go over his house. And Maurice, his mom, my aunt, had 5 kids, plus these 2. So she had 7 kids at her house. So when she was away at work, me being the oldest one there was kind of like the one that was, watching everybody, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know who found and went through her closet, but her boyfriend at the time, we had found, the porno tapes, right? So we popped that stuff in, looking at the porno tapes.
Of course.
Vanessa Del Rio, because she was one of the ones from the 80s or the 90s or what? Or not 90s, but the 70s.
70s and 80s.
70s, 80s, Vanessa Del Rio.
Claire Huxtable.
I don't know who invited all the kids in her neighborhood. She kind of did.
Well, no. Vanessa Del Rio is related to Claire.
Oh, she really is related. I didn't know.
wow.
Felicia Rashad.
Felicia Rashad.
Okay.
No,
I didn't know that either.
But anyway, so
I bet the family
There's a lot of talent in that family.
Right. I bet the family units is something special.
we used to be cool with everybody in the neighborhood, right? And I don't remember how more people were in that house all watching freaking Vanessa Del
'Cause
Rio
word got
do her
around.
thing. Yeah. Anyway, so things get put back where they're supposed to go. Everybody's cool and dandy. My mom come pick us up after work. We go home, and this boy goes, "Ma, who's Vanessa Del Rio?" I'm just like, Chris, what the heck is wrong with you, man?
Stupid.
What was the odd part is my mom, of course, not odd because that's gonna happen. My mom called my aunt, and my cousins, they got in trouble. I don't remember getting in trouble because they get in trouble, but they got the back hides tanned.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah.
That brother got an old soul.
Yeah, because he definitely wouldn't lie. He doesn't. He was very truthful about
He's like
stuff.
the king of carry out too.
Oh my God!
Not like the king of the doggy bag.
Because he can't finish if we eat like a couple of bites. I need a doggy bag. I'm like, man. Like,
You know, that sucks.
And then he eat in the car.
It's like saying it.
Then he eat in the car.
See, I wouldn't eat in the car, man. I don't know what it is about me. My eyes, as they say, is bigger than my stomach. Because I'll go into places, be like, you know, I'll get whatever to eat, and then I'll eat a bunch of it, and I feel satisfied, full, and I'm just like, you know what? I'll take the rest home. I'll do that for everything. Like, I'll go to a buffet and have like 2 plates and be done. I'm just like, man, I'm at a buffet. I need to eat some more food.
Man, your brother would literally just take a couple, and then eat it in my car. I'm like, and he had pancakes. I'm like, Chris.
he loves his freaking
Breakfast food.
His breakfast food. Now, whenever he come back to Detroit, because look, I know a lot of people out there don't live in Detroit, but Detroit got something called Coney Islands. They're basically diners, but they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And these things, some of them are good, some of them are bad, but the ones in the hood got cheap-ass breakfast. You can get eggs, sausage, bacon, hash browns, all that stuff for like $5, wow. And they fill it up. Maybe a little bit more,
yeah,
but usually
most $5.
Yeah,
they gonna fill it up,
and they fill it up, and it's good.
Oh yeah,
it's good. That's one of the things that I love about Detroit is we have a lot of different styles of food. And it's good, and it's cheap. Because I was in Hawaii a few weeks ago, and first off, I don't like the pancakes in Hawaii. Because they're just too goddamn thick. I'm sorry, I'm not, it's like a cake. They could have stacked them up, put frosting on it, and it's a cake.
Wow.
I did not. I put syrup on it, and it absorbed all the syrup.
Damn.
It just sucked it all in, and it was just gone, and you couldn't taste it afterwards. It just absorbed. And I'm not a fan of it, but it's expensive. Everywhere we went to breakfast, like me and my wife go to breakfast here, we pay $20 or under and be good, and get the same thing in Hawaii. It was $40, and with the goddamn tip, $50.
Damn.
I'm just like, I love Hawaii. That's like my second favorite state, but I could not live there because it just.
Well, no.
I'd visit there and be there extended periods of time if I had the money, man.
I gotta go in a minute and go get these boys.
Yeah, it's
food.
getting
when
time. I'm hungry myself.
First thing I always remember about you and your brother was, man, y'all always had great haircuts. Like,
well, not anymore, man.
Like, I'm saying like both of your lineups were amazing, and I remember walking into Andrew's basement. There was this kid, because like at the time your brother looked like a kid.
Ask all these damn questions.
There was this kid, he was down there doing his homework. And I was like, hey, everybody, I got a joke. And I told this joke. And your brother laughed at that joke for like 5 days. And hearing your brother laugh was like the most amazing thing ever. Cause he's very honest.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like he wasn't laughing to laugh. And I don't know if it was the Bleach joke. Or if it was what do you, I mean, I guess in 2019, this joke would be very insensitive, but it was, what do you tell a woman with 2 black eyes?
I think I know what that is.
Yeah, there was nothing. You already told her twice. Yeah. And your little brother, oh man, like he fell out. And from that moment on, I said, I like this guy. You know, not because of the joke, but because like his laugh was infectious.
I remember the first time I met your brother. We was going to the strip club.
Oh boy.
Deja vu.
Is that when your car got towed?
Yep.
Oh, okay. That was the first time you met him?
Yep.
Wow.
So went there. He said, "Man, this car drives smooth, man." I said, "I got bad shots."
His voice so good. That's hilarious, man.
I was around him so much.
Yeah, we worked together. We had moved together.
That's fair. That's fair.
And he would just say, "Man, this car drives smooth." I said, "I don't know who this kid is, but no, it's not. It doesn't drive smooth at all." And then that's not his car got towed too. No, the second time he went, his car got towed after I told him don't park at the bank. Almost got me and Andrew shot. We tried to ask the police for directions, and they pulled a gun on us. We was like, "Oh, officer, we trying to ask you a question." And they wouldn't try. He said, "Man, don't run up on me like that." I said, "Man, I didn't, because I had Andrew's phone like this, trying to talk to Chris about, man, we're talking to the police right now, whoop-de-whoop." And the cop kicked it. I swear it was like a movie. He said, "Bam!" hands up. I said, oh no. I swear our heart was beating fast on that one, but yeah, that was funny.
Until we had just rented it. I forgot. We was moving furniture together.
Oh, that was funny. He was acting a fool on that.
Yeah,
He hiked his shorts up to his chest and did this weird dance. We supposed to be working, and I was like, dog, what are you doing? And because we was doing two different, that's what it was. We was doing two different homes, and they asked us for our help, so Chris met us over there, and I went over there too with the people I drove with. And it was this lady, she was moving to Miami. She was a rich lady, whatever. But she kept like, cause we was in the basement, and her and her friend was sitting up at the kitchen, but when you go up, you can see she had a skirt on. And she kept opening her leg. I said, Chris, you see this? He said, yeah. So we didn't pay no mind to it. We go get her bed. Your brother was like, oh man, this bed is comfortable. We got some lumps on it. Trying to, insist that she was doing something. She said something back, and he bust out laughing because he was flirting with her or whatever. Your brother, he'll say anything.
Yeah,
and was honest with it. It was funny.
That was, I mean, I guess we all grown now and better, but he had found wasn't that when he found that Brazzers password?
He always had the password.
He found his password. Yeah, your little brother is amazing.
Yeah.
Remember, because he always came to us. No, he always came to him with a password because he always
I don't know about any of that.
In the moving company, he found the passwords. At the house he was at, that's where he found them, and he had a game.
He said, "Hey, Andrew, man, I got these passwords." Oh man.
Yeah, I miss him. I wish he still lived in the area, but he don't. I don't know if you guys know that he got a new baby.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I don't even remember what her name is. I'm sorry, I'm a bad uncle.
He got how many kids he got now?
3. And the other one just turned 10 3 days ago.
Yeah, I saw that post. I'm like, wow. Time is insane.
Yeah,
Because he was a kid. I bet when he was a kid.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. And I ain't got no kids. And look like your kids out there ready to go.
Yep.
We got to go.
All right, everybody. It was a fun test. We enjoyed it. We will be doing more from
Sure
this
was.
awesome lair.
Yeah, so if you guys didn't know, where we did this now is going to be our new studio moving forward. Sometime, hopefully, coming up soon. All of the shows of Culture Junkies Live is going to be starring all of us in a roundtable format in a room. You'll still be able to see some of your other favorite guests that don't live in state with us, but we're just doing this because we want to get a quality product out there for all of our fellow Junkies fans. So for my boys Mega Sean, GQ, Super Nerd Plus, and the Great Guy Takushi, I'm Kishiro. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for checking in, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Peace out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Share this, please, because we need your support. We're destitute.
Ted, where you at?
Yeah. Destitute on the YouTubes.
Are we out?